So as Lynn said, I'm studying a Masters of Psychology, but I didn't start there. My first degree was in Geography, and I've long been passionate about sustainability and the natural world. So when I decided to pursue a career in psychology, I had in the back of my mind this question of how can I continue to stay engaged with the world of sustainability, and what role can psychology play in the fight for a more sustainable future? So when I heard about the Waddle Fellowship, it seemed like an amazing opportunity to start exploring some of these questions for myself. And this intersection between the world of mental health and psychology and sustainability became a guiding theme for me as I approached my action project. But I didn't know what it would look like, so I took the advice that we were learning in all of the workshops and throughout the fellowship, and I reached out to people in the field that knew more than me and might be able to offer some guidance. And fortunately for me, one of the people that I reached out to was Dr. Grant Blushke, who has been doing some amazing work in the space of climate change and mental health for a long time now. And Grant was incredibly generous with his time, and he became a fantastic mentor and support of mine throughout the fellowship. And one of the things he was able to do was to bring me in to help out with a collaborative report that was being done between Climate Council and Beyond Blue. So Climate Council is one of the country's leading organisations in the space of sustainability and climate communications, and Beyond Blue is one of the country's leading mental health charities. And these two organisations came together to conduct a nationwide survey and report that looked at the mental health toll of climate change and climate fuel disasters. And I was lucky enough to help out with some of the survey design, the analysis, and some of the publicity. And it was a real honour and privilege to hold space for and hear some of the often harrowing stories that the participants shared. And the outcomes of the report were pretty significant. So the report found that climate fuel disasters are having a significant toll on the mental health of Australians across the country. The report also found that climate change, that 50% of participants were worried or very worried about climate change. And this is in alignment with research that is being done across the globe that's finding that climate change is causing a significant amount of distress and anxiety and overwhelm for a lot of people. And this is a finding that I can relate to. There's definitely been times where I felt overwhelmed and anxious about the state of the planet, and I know a lot of my friends and fellow fellows have felt this too. The report was shared by a range of media outlets from ABC to The Guardian. I was lucky enough to co-author an op-ed on the topic with Grant, and we even did an interview on the topic for Joy FM. So, when I was thinking about... I'll go back, I have another point to make. The report put the idea on the map that climate change is a mental health concern, and that stronger action on climate change is foundational to our mental health. So when I was thinking about the fellowship and all the amazing things that I got out of it, from a network of amazing peers to industry connections and professional skills, one of the things that jumped out at me is this idea of a permission slip. Because before I started doing the fellowship, I knew that there was all this work that needed to be done in the world, but I didn't feel like I was the person for it, or I didn't feel ready. But I learned pretty quickly in the fellowship that I'm never going to feel ready, and I, like everybody else in the room, is the person for it. And there comes a time where I just need to start. And I don't need to be an expert. I can talk to experts, or I can learn through doing. So I'm pretty confident that I wouldn't have the confidence or skills to work on some of the stuff that I have been working on or am working on if it wasn't for the Waddle Fellowship. And I feel very grateful for everybody, including Lynn and my fellow fellows and my family and friends, for making this experience possible for me. What's next? As mentioned before, research around the world is finding that climate change is causing a significant amount of overwhelm and anxiety for a lot of people, especially young people. Unfortunately, there are things that can help with this. But often these things can be hard to find, and they're scattered across the internet. And so my goal over the next few months is to bring together some of these helpful resources into one online centralised hub. So that's a little bit easier for people experiencing those things to get some support. And it's important to acknowledge that experiencing climate anxiety or overwhelm is a very understandable response to such a big issue. But we know from research that anxiety can create a lot of suffering in people's life, and it can lead to inaction. So hopefully by making these resources a little bit more accessible, People are better able to manage and understand these experiences in a way that better serves them and better serves the planet. So if you have any tips or resources or ideas or just want to chat about this, please come and chat to me at the end, send me an email or connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you for your time.